Defense Secretary Robert Gates says the U.S. and the world cannot afford for North Korea to be a nuclear-armed country. With U.S.-China relations hanging in the balance, can the U.S. afford to talk tough with North Korea? Joining us now, South Carolina Congressman Joe Wilson, a member of the House Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committees. Congressman, thank you for joining us on this Sunday afternoon.
Honored to be with you. Thank you.
I want to follow up on some other things that the Secretary of Defense said. He talked about the fact that North Korea likes to create these crisis points, and then we have to give up things and negotiate back to just to get to the status quo. He's tired of buying the same horse twice, is what the Defense Secretary said. How often do we let this go on? I mean, where is the breaking point with North Korea?
Well, I agree with the Secretary that we need to take firm action, and what we need to do is build up an anti-ballistic missile defense system, working with Japan, working with our great ally of South Korea. We can isolate the rogue regime of Pyongyang, but it needs to be through a missile defense system.
Do you think that's realistic? I mean, that's not something this administration has been very supportive of.
Well, in fact, it is realistic because we see how it can work around the world, but indeed, the current administration has cut back on our ability for a anti-ballistic missile defense system in Alaska. This is a time to build it up. This is a time to work with Japan, work with South Korea. We can isolate the regime, and then we won't have to buy the same horse twice.
Congressman, this week Kim Jong-il has said that basically the truce that ended the Korean War is null and void, so that may be back on. They've also said they won't return to the six-party talks that we hope would give us some leverage by, getting together a number of countries to put some pressure on them. We keep returning to the UN for another resolution, for more sanctions. Is any of that working?
Well, in fact, it's not. There was nuclear testing this week. There was short-range missiles fired. There was the threat to our allies, South Korean ships and American ships. There is a potential for a long-range missile test, which could go over Japan. The best way to address this rogue regime, I believe, is to build a missile defense system that protects our allies, protects American troops, and ultimately the Taepodong-2 missile could reach the western coast of the United States.
That is a terrifying thought for many people, especially because we don't know what kind of potential instability is going on at any given time in North Korea. Now, obviously, neighbors much closer there in the region have started to beef up their serious efforts because they know that they're even that much closer. How much do you think we can rely on countries directly in that region to exert any pressure? Do they have any power over North Korea?
Well, Shannon, they do. And China should be exerting influence because this is a failed state in North Korea. It is being propped up by the government of China. China needs to assert itself by not providing fuel, money, food. They need to indicate to North Korea that, as they did publicly, but they need to do it privately. This week they've indicated that denuclearization should be the policy of the Korean Peninsula, but they need to follow through with firm and bold action because it's not in the interest of China.
All right, Congressman Joe Wilson, we thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and we'll all stay tuned.
Thank you.
Well, Pennsylvania